Hello and welcome to another episode of That's Dota. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be trying a cast that's not the guys from the secret forum. We're actually going to be casting a game that was given to us off a Reddit forum for Dota casting. I'm going to be Gus and today I'm joined by Mark. Mark, how are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Excited.
Yeah, this is going to be good. We're it's going to be different because usually we're used to the players that we know and we know how their playstyles are, what they like to do. This is going to be something a little bit fresh, a little bit different. So we're seeing just usually we would see something like a Lifesteal or ODB and Bandit. Now we're seeing different heroes. We see Bloodseeker, Spiritbreaker, Pudge, Ricky. Kind of not usual heroes that you would see in Bandit. Maybe the Pudge.
Well, they all have one thing in common, and they're all kind of exceptional pub stompy heroes. They all really punish you in terms of positioning. If you're out of position, a hook, Ricky, Invis, and then into Smokescreen, and then obviously Bloodseeker with the ult and Spiritbreaker with the charge. So they're heroes that snowball out of control in pub games and when they're not shut down. So yeah, it's interesting that all four of these guys have been banned, and it leaves a lot of interesting heroes in the pool. You know, it leaves your Venomancers, your Crystal Maidens, your Liches, your Lifestealers, the heroes that tend to get banned straight off the bat.
Definitely. And then we do see the first pick that's coming out for the Radiant side is the Death Prophet, who is just she's so utility basis that she can do so well in the mid lane, and then when she gets up that ult, she can actually start pushing towers really effectively. And something we've seen lately come out is the Desolator on her, because it does really make that ult so much more effective on heroes.
Yeah, she's an interesting hero at the moment because she's kind of become the kind of pub stomp hero after her buff to Exorcism in the last patch. I think the general consensus is she's quite a strong hero, but in the pro scene we've seen her drafted not too many times, and most of the times we've seen her drafted she hasn't excelled. Yeah, so it's an interesting one. I mean, her ult at the moment is so strong, and it combines nicely with her overall kind of build, which is usually a Bloodstone or a Heart of Trask or something like that, just to keep her very tanky, so she can stay up in the fight, for the full duration of her ult.
Definitely, it's kind of, she nearly has like a mini cheese built in that once that ult is finished, she's pretty much back up to full health. We do see then a Silencer and a Wind Ranger now has come out as well, and Wind Ranger is one of those heroes that she's brilliant, like in the shackle. If you're getting off those shackles, you can just completely turn fights. It's so good if you're catching two heroes with it rather than a hero to a tree. But early game, it's going to make a big difference depending on who she's laning with.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Wind Ranger is she's so versatile, so she can really do quite a lot of things. She can go very heavy support because she has a decent stun in her shackle shot, and it is a skill shot, but if you can land it on two heroes, you're taking two heroes out of the fight for 3.75 seconds at the full duration, which is really important. But then she can also go into like a kind of a mid-game carry. Focus Fire typically isn't a skill that's used on it too much, but if you have an item up like an MKB or a Desolator or something like that, then she can become quite a strong right-click carry, carry. And with Windrun, then Windrun kind of changes because Windrun is usually used as an escape, but if you use it as a carry, you're giving yourself a pretty much like a Ghost Scepter, but you can attack because obviously you have your evasion from physical attacks. So yeah, just a really versatile, nice hero.
Now all these bans that are coming out, they're all very carries. It seems that the Radiant especially, they don't want to face anything mid. I'm assuming that they're going to possibly take this Death Prophet mid, so they don't want something that's going to be an absolute nightmare for her to deal with, like the Pudge, like the Shadow Fiend, like the Sniper. And then we see coming out on the other side is the Weaver, who's just every game he's always a pain to deal with. Once that Weaver gets going, if he has his Desolator up or his Lincoln Sphere, he's just so hard to stop. And then Drow as well is just such a strong right-click hero. Something that she can be so easily shut down in the same way as that Sniper can, but if she gets going, if she gets the damage on your face, she's going to do so much to you.
Radiance pick.
Yeah, I mean, Drow's a hero obviously with her ult. Her right-click damage gets insane at level 6 and continues that way. But I mean, she is a fairly weak hero if you can close the gap quickly. And now they don't really have any gap closers picked up. Silencer, Wind Ranger, and Zeus really aren't going to do that much to her. But there are a lot of heroes that you could pick. Like a Storm Spirit or any of the real gap closers. Clockwork will be another one. But yeah, I mean, just some people, we don't see her banned out too often. She isn't really picked that often, just because like Sniper, she is so kind of squishy and vulnerable to be ganked. But I suppose if you're going with this lineup like a Silencer, Wind Ranger, Zeus, yeah, she probably is a good ban out because none of these heroes can deal with her really well.
We see now the Radiant team, they're going pretty much all carry at the moment. They haven't come out with any support, so it's going to be interesting what they take up for their last 2 picks. But we see Meepo coming out, and Meepo something that I'm really excited to see is, if I see a good Meepo player, it's so enjoyable to watch, just because it's so hard to control Meepo, especially when you have the Agnums out and you have, what is it, it's 5 characters in total to control?
Yeah, and especially now with the change to his ult, where he's getting his second Meepo at level 4. So if you can combine your poofs correctly, you can really start ganking so early, and that's what Meepo really is. I mean, he is kind of a carry, but really he's a ganking carry. So the idea is you build a blink dagger on him. If you're good, you blink in, you earthbind, and then you start poofing in, and you really kind of just kind of smash heroes. Smash heroes really quickly and then get out. So yeah, I mean, he's a hero with a massively high skill cap, which is why you don't really see him that often, because his skill cap isn't really fair in terms of his kind of eventual output. I mean, it takes so much to be good at Meepo, and really when you when you get good at Meepo, he's still just, he's not going to be any better than, say, like a Gyrocopter or something like that. But yeah, I mean, he's always fun to watch.
Yeah, and we see now the Radiant are continuing with their style of going for just pure carry. So it's possible they might be considering a solo offlane, possibly jungling this Ursa, but we'll see kind of what they pick up with the last pick will kind of give us a better indication. Whereas the Dire, they're going to go for more standard threats. I'd say they're going to go for a 2-1-2 here with a silencer support. Possibly the Meepo and the Wind Ranger in the safe lane, because there'll be a good synergy there with the net and the shackle shot, with the silencer and the Tiny able to put out a lot of harass up top.
One thing to note is Skeleton King and an Ursa picked up, which could hint at a level 1 rush. I mean, if we see a Lich picked up here, then alarm bells need to start ringing for the Dire. But if I was on the Dire team now and I saw that pickup, I'd definitely start running down quite quickly like a Wind Ranger, get her down and ward rush very, very quickly, because that is a level 1 rush team. But yeah, I mean, it is an extremely greedy pickup. You have a lot of heroes there that require farm. Skeleton King needs a lot of farm, Phantom Assassin needs a decent bit of farm, Death Prophet, she wants her Bloodstone or something equally tanky like a Heart, and then Ursa, really he needs a gap closer, so like a Shadow Blade or a Blink Dagger, before he can really start balling. So they have picked the Lina up, who hopefully will pick up the number 5 support role. I mean, she's not really a number 5 support, because she can, like, items like a Blink Dagger or a Yule Scepter are really, really useful on her. But I kind of, after the pick stage, I much prefer the Dire's pick up. Really, they have a nice, well-bound, balanced team. As you say, it's probably going to be a 2-1-2, I imagine. I have no idea what the Radiant are going to line up with. Really, it could be anything.
We'll see. They could even consider barreling 5, all the 5 down mid. We'll see how it turns out, but I'm kind of feeling is that the Death Prophet is going to go mid. Possible that they could offlane the Shadow or the Phantom Assassin, just playing it safe.
Put Ursa in the jungle and Skeleton King, Lina, carry bottom. Yeah, I imagine that's probably what they're going to do.
5 seconds.
It's going to be interesting now to see where the First Blood is actually going to land in this game. Just such a strange lineup on both, well, not on both sides, but mainly on the Radiant. But they have the potential to make kills happen. Like the Dire, their heroes aren't necessarily that tanky barreless like the Tiny, and the Wind Ranger does have the ability to run out of there. But it's going to be interesting to see what way this actually works out.
Yeah, one thing I suppose to point out is we did see an early silencer pickup, and I think that the Radiant have kind of picked their heroes well to counter that. None of their heroes really are going to be too put out with the silence. A lot of them are right-click heroes, and really Death Prophet, her biggest spell is going to be kind of up anyway, so if she pops that before going into a team fight, then the silence won't do anything to her. So that's a kind of a nice pickup to kind of counter that global silence.
Interesting to see this Ursa is moving his way to the offlane, so we'll see what way they're... I would love to be able to call, in theory, craft what way they're going to do with this, but I think we're going to be thrown for a loop no matter what we say.
Battle will commence.
Yeah, and it's not going to be the level 1 rush.
Seconds.
I was worried about it because, I mean, Skeleton King does have the Vampiric Aura, and then Ursa, obviously, he has his Fury Swipes and Overpower, which can... bring down the rush quite quickly. But I mean, level 1 rushes are always really, really risky.
Yeah, if you got caught out, it makes such a big deal. But we're going to go through just the lineups of the two teams at the moment. So starting down with the Radiant, we have TE Trademarks Dream On the Ursa, we have Nestor. On the Phantom Assassin, we have Pappy Piri Pupi. On the Death Prophet going mid, we have Fiox. And then finally on the Skeleton King, we have Uni.
Okay, and on the Dire going mid, we have 183 on the Zeus. On the Meepo, everyone's going to be looking at him nice and closely. Johnny Urin. On the Wind Ranger, we have Civil Anti-Ballistic Missile. The Silencer top, we have the Jesse Pinkman. Very exciting. And then we have Hippie Force on the Tiny.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see if we get any Breaking Bad references that come out here during this game.
So just having a quick look at the lanes. Tiny is getting right click down. He should be okay though. Looking at the lanes, I mean, this should be a lane that'll be in favor of the Dire. They have the Radiant have two heroes that are going to be probably competing for last hits, which isn't going to go well. They have two melee heroes, which isn't going to go well. And Silencer can really do he can really do quite a lot of annoying things with his Curse of the Silent and his last word to heroes like Skeleton King, who really doesn't have much in the way of dealing with that.
Yeah, it's such a strong harass as well that is the Curse of the Silent. It's just because it's going to be constantly ticking down his mana and his health. And then when he gets later on, when he gets that last word, he's going to be able to just put out so much harass and so much damage. Like I'd say, the Tiny is going to be having he's going to have a good time getting last hits up here. But it kind of seems as that they're both kind of contesting for the last hits as well.
Yeah, I was expecting we were going to see a support silencer, but obviously not. But yeah, in terms of the last word, sorry, Curse of the Silent rather. I mean, what's Skeleton King going to do if that's cast on you? I mean, he has one active ability, and that's a stun. And it's a stun that costs quite a lot of mana, but we're going to see Tiny go initiated here by the Ursa.
The problem is just they don't have enough damage just to follow it up, but the Skeleton King is going pretty deep.
Skeleton King needs to be careful, yeah.
I think they might be considering waiting for it to see if they can go back in. Oh, and that's a huge pickup. And this is going to be the first blood. Oh, and he gets blocked by the creeps. And he may lose his life because of this.
Oh, but Tiny needs to leave.
This is the thing now where it really shows that positioning is key. Good play from the Radiant actually to decide, let's hold back here. They're probably going to come back in and we should be able to jump on them. Possibly a bit of miscommunication there is that the Skeleton King could have got a stun there and they would have had their kill.
We're going to see initiation bottom now. Wind Ranger might go down. Phantom Assassin
She
go,
gets the
yeah.
first blood and she just run away.
Oh, great Wind Blood.
And this is going to be 2 kills.
Yeah, she does have the blink strike, so that's going to take her out, but she's going to die for that.
But the important thing is that Meepo was there for it and he's just getting the experience and he's getting the gold.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Wind Ranger says, was it worth it? And I don't think a Phantom Assassin trading for a Wind Ranger is ever a good trade, really.
No, it's greedy play. Trying to get in just to get
really great play though by the Wind Ranger. I mean, she was on so little health, but that's always a sign of a good player, to know when to back and to know when to go in. And you know, she was able to secure the kill and then also on Lena, and then also get out, and then that also cost Phantom Assassin her life trying to get in. We're going to see initiation up top now as well.
From my stone.
We do see that the Tiny actually does go down there. This is it is the scary thing because there's so much quick damage coming out of the way there, and the Skeleton King with his stun is that he can keep you there, but we need to be careful here. But as you were saying,
I mean, yeah, the positioning, I mean, the Dire aren't doing themselves any favour with their positioning. I mean, yeah, fair enough that a stun into an Ursa combo is always really, really scary, but I mean, it's a Skeleton King. He's not going to be able to throw out with that stun all day. He's on absolutely no mana now. They just need to be really, really careful where the positioning is. You know, you go up and get your last hits if the Skeleton King isn't in stun range, or if the Ursa isn't around to follow up. But I mean, you're a ranged hero. There's no need to be in that position.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when he really excels in the fact is that he can throw out that Curse, the Silent. He doesn't really need to be right-click harassing. That's enough harass just to keep them out of lane.
Yeah, exactly.
You can kind of see now, I think the Ursa he's considering is that he can move into the jungle as well slightly, but we're possibly going to see
Good
another
combo by the Tiny.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Only problem is he can just get away.
Dire's middle tower is being attacked.
I was expecting that throw to do a bit more damage. I'm not sure.
75 damage on level 1.
Yeah, it didn't look like.
Oh, there's a good light strike array come down the bot, but there's nothing just to follow it up. Now, one of the things that I kind of feel about that Meepo is that once you get that first Meepo, whether it's kind of different now with the way the actual change has gone, it's kind of better to get him into the jungle, getting the extra gold, getting the extra experience. Having him in the lane is nice, but at the same time, like, what's he going to do? You're just kind of, it's another hero that you have to worry about.
Meepo, only one of them is going to do in the jungle, to be honest. I think he's alright to stay in lane for a bit longer. They're in the
He's going to lose his life here.
The silence is broken.
And this is, as you were saying before, it's just careless positioning, and they're just going to feed this Ursa, which is not what you want to do. If he, more than likely, I would like to see a Blink Dagger going his way this game.
I think he's missed a trick on his skilling. I always like to get one level of Nerd Shock, simply because you need a slow so badly as Ursa, and any sort of slow will do. I mean, if you put even 1 point in it, you're getting a 25% slow, and that's pretty huge. I mean, if he had that on Tiny there, he would have got the kill. And really, it's not worth leaving that out if you're just going to put one more level into Overpower or into Fury Swipes. I mean, the extra level you put into them isn't worth it, really. Another great light strike around Meepo down bot.
Only problem is though, fair enough, he got his second Meepo and he's got his net off, but then he's just standing there when he knows there's a hero that has a stun that needs you to be standing stock still. See, the Zeus is coming up top, so we could see something happen here. He does have his level 6. So a good initiation is going to turn this.
Tiny only has enough mana for one. It should be an avalanche. Silencer is a little bit of decision here, but I mean, it is the Abyss, so they have time. Yeah. There's a big creep wave, so it's kind of hard for them to go.
Zeus is leaving the lane though.
Oh no, this is a mistake from Zeus. Yeah, no, Zeus definitely should have stayed. I mean, you're not going to see. Oh no, they're going to go on.
Oh, but the stun comes out, and that Skeleton King is going to
great.
And there's the ult coming out. This is possibly going to be 2. This Ursa, that's just how scary Ursa is that once he comes up in your face and he puts that overpower off, there's very little you can do against it.
Yeah, interesting build here from the Zeus as well. He's chosen to completely neglect Lightning Bolt. I find this really strange. I mean, he's put 4 points into Arc Lightning, and I mean, Arc Lightning is a really nice harass spell, and it's also good, you know, for combining with your static field. But I mean, you've put 4 points into Arc Lightning, and you're getting 145 damage out of it. If you put 2 points into Lightning Bolt, you're getting more than that with 175 damage. And Zeus is such a burst hero, especially with his ults. You know, a Thunder God's Wrath into Lightning Bolt into Arc Lightning can absolutely blow up heroes. So yeah, I think he really should have put some more into that Thunderbolt. Lightning Bolt rather.
Yeah, we see Death Prophet is doing okay in this lane. It's kind of been harder for against her. Like the Zeus, I can't actually understand how she's getting away with so little last hits. Like she's just after catching up to the Zeus now, but the Zeus does have the 3 denies as well. It's kind of is something that I feel that the Death Prophet should be far stronger in the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean they're both fairly similar in the mid lane. Zeus has the Chain Lightning, and Death Prophet has the Crypt Swarm. Now Crypt Swarm is the more powerful spell out of the two, both for getting last hits and for harassing. And she's also chosen not to get a silence. I like to have at least 1 point in silence as well. But I mean, that can be on hold. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Crypt Swarm, with the Crypt Swarm, you should be outlaning a Zeus, but it's not a massive outmatch by any means. Just see Ursa swing around top as well.
And look, we're looking again is that they're just sitting up here, that they're so far forward, they don't know where he is, but he's going to come in, they're going to do a lot of damage here. I see possibly a stun coming out on the Silencer. And yeah, this is what's going to happen time and time again. If they're going to stay in those terrible positions, they're going to lose their lives. Should be seeing a stun coming out from the Skeleton King here. He should be able to take him. And the Tiny's gone for a very strange route to try and escape, but I think he's just kind of, he's really just delaying the inevitable.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I suppose he's trying to avoid the Skeleton King stun. But yeah, he's in all sorts of trouble now.
Pincer attack is coming in here. And there's the stun. And we'll see the overpower now.
He does have an avalanche.
Oh!
This is my point with the Earth Shock by the Ursa, but he might be able to take him. Oh yeah, the stun's going to finish him.
That's something. The Zeus, he has no reason to be there. There's no business there. What was he hoping to accomplish there?
This is getting scary now for the Dire. Ursa is the last hero that you want to snowball out of control. I mean, he can be absolutely lethal if he gets the levels and he buys some sort of gap closer.
Especially something like a Blink Dagger or even the Shadow Blades, just because he can get right up there, and the amount of burst he puts out, it's so scary to deal with. And the fact is that I'm pretty sure he has his, there's the Vance is up now. So even if you're going to be attacking him, he's just going to be able to put in so much damage onto you.
Yeah, and also obviously with the Vad's pickup, it now means that he can solo Roche whenever he wants. So yeah, usually you pick up a Vlad's and then you immediately pick up a smoke. We're going to see Zeus get initiated on here, but Lina is...
The silence come out.
This is my point now with the lightning. I mean, he doesn't have the burst damage now. He's going to get Lina, but he's so... I mean, he only really has his right clicks and his ults. Arc Lightning really isn't doing the damage that you need. I mean, if he had 4 points in Lightning Bolt now, he'd be shooting out 350 damage, which is obviously, you know, quite substantial more than Arc Lightning.
And it's still, he's completely neglecting that skill, and it is, as you said, it's just such a strong skill to have. The Tiny is on his own at the top of the silencers, just walking back to lane. You see the switch around is that the Lina is now deciding to come mid, with the Death Prophet coming down bot just to push. You can see just how effective those that ult is. If either one of those meepos had some form of a nuke on him, a Crypt Swarm possibly could have taken him out. We might see the Crypt Swarm and the dive here.
Why do you hate gingers?
The tower's actually going to take down the
Tower's going
Prophet.
to take down.
Had the PA actually come in there, they would have secured the kill, and they would have got 2 kills, and they possibly could have saved the Death's Prophet because they wouldn't have had to stay in near as long.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the dive is worth it. I mean, you have Exorcism up and you've pushed the heroes past the tower. Why not just, you know, why not just push the tower with your Exorcism? I mean, the ult is so good at dealing damage to tower. I don't really think you need to really go in for that. I mean, it's a support windrunner and you're a mid hero. It's not a good trade to make.
The fact is that they did get the meepo out of it, but I kind of feel is that had the PA been up there a little bit sooner, she would have just easily jumped in and finished off that meepo.
I don't think they got the meepo out of it at all. I think the meepo got out.
Oh, you're right.
And we see Tiny go down. I didn't see the kill, but I can well imagine what happened. Tiny gets too close, Skeleton King stuns, Ursa finishes it off.
Yeah, and it's now gone 6-0 to this Ursa, and he's diving pretty deep here. He wants some blood, but
he's diving
see
deep,
rotation coming up here.
But no, he should be fine.
But Zeus still know with no lightning bolt. It's even just the fact is the mini stun out of it is such a nice thing to have. But they're going very out of position here, and it's possibly going to see a kill going the way of the Ursa again. He needs to be careful not to just dive in behind this tower madly.
Yeah, I mean the thing is when you start snowballing control and you start going like 6-0, 7-0 or whatever, it really becomes essential that you try and keep that going, because when you die, you're going to give your opponent, whoever kills you, a ton of gold. So, I mean, fair enough, you're going to die. It's probably going to be inevitable unless you snowball out of control, absolutely. But, you know, make sure it's worth it. Make sure it's a team fight, a really important team fight for a really important tower or something like that. Don't just kind of dive way past because you're getting overconfident because you're balling out of control.
Tiny's very out of position here. He doesn't know where any of them are. Coming in that way is just absolute madness.
I mean, he should be okay. Ursa as well, he's gone for the Vlads before he's gone for the phase boots. Now he has got the 1 point in Earth Shock, which is good, but really you need phase boots. I mean, his Vlads right now isn't really doing anything for him. He's not getting into prolonged team fights where the regen is happening. He's not going for Roshan, so really the Vlads at the moment is a bit of a wasted pickup, whereas the phase boots now would be a lot handier. Nice pickup, but see,
he actually misclicked there. I think he actually went for his enrage first, and he didn't actually put out the overpower. So see, when he was doing damage to the Tiny there, Tiny could walk away, but unfortunately, it's just that Tiny isn't able to escape. Kind of taking a look at the way the last hits are going at the moment is the Zeus is leading in the way of 33-4, followed up by the Death Prophet. But when we take a closer look, we do see initiation
Zeus.
And he does actually turn and he gets the damage out. But is he going to die to the actual right clicks of this Death Prophet? He should
Swarm is up. The right click is going to do it. Oh no, great bottle. You just need to skill shot Crit Swarm here. Another bottle. The Crit Swarm needs to come out. You shoot that Crit Swarm. There it is.
She could have hit that so much earlier. And then we see the kill coming out top of lane as well, onto the silencer. Now these plays coming out from the Radiant team is like we thought that they picked off such a greedy lineup, but it is working out for them. And I think this is down to the fact that the Radiant, they've been so out of position.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the top lane, like we were saying at the start of the game, the top lane should have gone into the favour of the Radiant. They had the heroes, they'd harassy heroes rather than killing heroes. But I mean, harassing heroes turn into killing heroes because you're either forcing them onto low health, and then they stay laugh hits, and then you try and kill them. We're going to see Tiny. Oh, that's a great pickup by Tiny. Really nice
Bad
combo
news
catches
for you
Skeleton
fans
King
of
with that
tower.
ult.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Well, that's the thing,
under
like,
siege.
the ult is great on Skeleton King, but you need to realize that there is a cooldown on it. You're not
Dire's middle
invincible for the
tower
whole
is
game.
being attacked.
Yeah, but sorry, just to finish off my point there, I mean, they should have really just sat back in lane, got the last hits, and then started harassing Skeleton King and Ursa. But really, they didn't. They went for it. They got 2 out of position, and Skeleton King used his stun, which combined well into Ursa, and Ursa got the early kills. And now Ursa's snowballing out of control.
And he's going for this Roche. And they've no way to contest this. They don't even know if he's actually gone in there. There's no, you'll see the ward is here, but there's no coverage on the Roshan, so he can just easily just walk in and take it for free.
Nexus pops out. Nepo just needs to get out here. It's a nice air point. Windrunner now just needs to run. That's crazy by the Windrunner. You don't stand in Nexus doesn't. To right click. But yeah, just quickly about that ward. The ward in that position is a really nice position because it's covering the rune and it's covering the blind side of the forest. But really, when you're up against an Ursa, you don't want to ward there. You want to ward the pathway into Roshan. Sorry, no, it's good.
Top tower is being attacked.
Yeah, you want to ward the pathway into Roshan because you know Ursa is going to pick up that Roshan. I mean, there's no shame in using 2 wards to cover, so you cover the rune and you're also covering the ward spot, the path into Roshan, and then using a second ward to check out that blind spot.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's something that you really need to be concerned about when you're fighting an Ursa, is making sure that Roche bit is warded at all times.
I'm a bit disappointed to see is that it's going to be a Shadow Blade out for this Ursa. I was really looking forward to seeing possibly a Blink, and this is a huge oversight from this PA. She's going to lose her life to do that.
Yeah, I mean, Shadowblade is a fine pickup. I personally prefer the Blink Dagger, but I mean, when you're snowballing this far out of control as Ursa, you can get some serious pickups with the Shadowblade. It's giving you the first, obviously the damage in the first right click, which is really good for ganking. The only problem is when you're trying to dive, it's not as good, or when you're trying to initiate, it's not as good. But yeah, I mean, it's still a fine pickup. It's a gap closer, and that's what Ursa needs. I'm going to see a good last strike on Tiny here. She has her Laguna, she doesn't use it.
She gets a silence out and she's going to turn. Oh, and she loses a lot of health there, and they need to turn to maybe do something here against her. One right click and there she goes down. People goes down, but he does pop the Aegis on the Ursa, but it doesn't really matter. Like, it's something that he can go back and get again when he wants it.
Yeah, I don't think going back to the fight, I don't think Lena realised that the damage is going to come there at the end of Curse of the Silence, and that brought her incredibly low.
So just taking a look kind of the way the goal is going at the moment, that it is heavily favouring the Radiant at the moment. They're nearly up at 2,500 ahead. It's kind of going up and down at the moment, but the way these kills are going is I think it's just going to keep going up and up for the Radiants. And then looking again at the experience, it's a similar kind of story, is that they're up on 5,000 ahead of the Dire.
Yeah, and that's a worry for the Dire, because they really don't have too many carries. Certainly, well, they have enough carries, but not enough compared to the massive carry lineup being brought out here by the Radiant. So, I mean, this is the point in the game where you're expecting the Dire's early heroes to start, taking the fight to the Radiant, getting the early kills. But really, we're seeing the opposite, because this Ursa has snowballed out of control. And I mean, props to the Skeleton King as well, who's really going in on Zeus, but I mean, there's no backup, but the Zeus should be fine. The right click from the Skeleton King's not going too much. But the Skeleton King and the Ursa have comboed quite well. I think we're focusing quite a lot on the positioning of the Dire, and that's fair enough, because they have been out of position, but the Skeleton King and the Ursa have comboed really, really well, getting the stun into obviously the massive damage the Ursa can put out.
Yeah. We did see in that, while we were looking at top profile in that Zeus, the PA did go down again to this combo of the Wind Ranger.
That Laguna Blade.
Can't keep up
with all
this
action. Lena just Laguna Blade a Tiny who was about on 20 health.
Well, just wanted to secure that kill.
Absolutely, gotta get them kills.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this is panning out. Like, it kind of feels like that the Radiant are really kind of balling ahead. Like, they're pushing already onto the T2s and pushing it pretty hard. I kind of feel that you should have stayed there. The Death Prophet should have stayed there just to pump out the Terror and tank up that damage a bit more.
Dire's top tower is
I mean, but this is I mean, the beauty of it being massive.
He's thinking about it, and Ursa just comes in. Ursa too strong.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if the ult is worth it, as it's the Skeleton King ult goes up, so yeah, I'm not really sure if it's worth it.
the only problem, the Dire, they're going in with no supports. They keep going in. That's the old pop.
That's it. Just get that health back up.
Yeah, and Ursa just
well.
goes straight in. That's a great initiation there. They're actually going to take down this Ursa for the first time. Oh, he's taking a lot of damage, but he just manages to sneak away.
No, that's a kill.
Oh, and that's the godlike streak is gone.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. When you lose that massive streak, you don't want to do it in a stupid dive, and that's exactly what's happened. He dove well past the tower, and he's just given Tiny 1,200 gold, which is a phenomenal amount.
And that's really just going to help him get back into the game, get up those key items that he needs. Something it's kind of it's a little bit greedy, I suppose, but I kind of like going phase drums on Tiny. It makes him just a lot quicker to get around. The mana is great, but if you have heroes that are going to be on the team that are going to supporting you with mana items, like he couples really well with Keeper of the Light because you just keep that nuke coming out.
Well, that's the beauty with drums as well, though. It's a really good pickup for heroes who need that little bit of extra int. I mean, it's pretty much essential on Chaos Knight, for example, who does need that bit of mana. So yeah, I mean, phase boost into drums is also a nice pickup.
See a strange word placement here actually in the jungle, but I'd say more than like the reason why that is because they know this Ursa is coming out of everywhere, so they just want to keep vision in the places where he could possibly come out of. But I'm pretty sure the Ursa does have, he nearly has a Shadow Blade up, and when he has that up, he's going to be able to initiate so strongly that it's going to be hard for the Dire to actually pick up this. And I'm not sure if they have recognized the fact is that this Ursa is going for a Shadow Blade. There doesn't seem to be any vision coming out on any of the supports.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't got it yet, so I mean, I'm sure what's going to happen is when they do see the Shadow Blade, that's when they're going to make the decision. You rarely see someone seeing that the Claymore comes out and then you start buying detection straight off the bat. But yeah, it's definitely something to be cautious about.
Oh, the Lina is caught out here. Is she going to be able to get off the light strike right? I don't think so. This is the power of Meepo. He gets in your face and he's literally a little nuclear reactor. He explodes and he does so much damage.
Yeah, that's a really good combo with Meepo. But I think now the point that you were making earlier about sending your Meepos out, this is when he could be doing that. I mean, he's sitting bot. He has got a few kills in fairness to him, but sorry, we're going to see an engagement up top as well.
He's going to lose his life. Ursa turns, Ursa's right clicking, and he's going to get 2 kills. And he's probably going to keep going. And that's probably the last word coming out from the way of the silence, which does finally finish him off.
Yeah, unlucky there. If he got his Fury swipes off, the Vlads would have probably healed him up to actually take that damage.
PA possibly got to lose their life here. Oh, it's a great chain of those.
Yeah, really
getting those nets off it's so hard to do. It's the whole thing that makes Meepo so hard. It's that you're essentially playing 5 of the same hero, and you have to individually micro every one of those skills.
Yeah, he's doing really well down here at bottom. I mean, he's sitting on 5, 1, and 3, which is, you know, you're getting that on Meepo. You're doing really, really well. Especially when the rest of your team is pretty much losing the game quite hard.
Yeah, we do see he's rushing up that Ags now as well.
Yeah, see I mean, he is. If you check the net worth, he's sitting extremely lowly. He doesn't have, you know, he has his boots of travel first, and that's the only item he has really. Does he have anything else? Does he have something in the courier?
I don't think so. I think he does. He has his Ogre Club and his Blade of Alacrity, but you know, he's taking his time. As I said, when you go into the jungle, is you can increase your farm rate so high. If you think about jungling heroes, is that they're sitting in a jungle getting gold, getting items. But this is a hero that's not only sitting in the jungle, but he's also sitting in the lane, getting experience and gold from both. That's what he needs to be doing. That's the beauty of Meepo.
Yeah, I mean, Meepo is one of those heroes who absolutely skyrockets in levels because you can so quick. So we're going to see engagement up top here as well. Silencer. Yeah, but I mean, Meepo is one of those heroes that absolutely skyrockets in levels because he has that ability to, you know, move, be in different places around the map, and you can soak up experience in different levels. But we're really seeing him just in the one place. I mean, that's fine and all. He's getting kills, but he could be getting them anyway and farming.
He's going to lose his life here, isn't it?
Yeah, he's not microing the low health one away.
We see Invisible Zeus here who's just waiting to try and put about some damage, but he should not go near this team.
There's nothing he can do here.
Tiny seems to be on his way to getting his mech, or his Midas as well. Taking a look at the items that are coming out for the heroes at the moment. We see the Ags coming out on the Zeus, which is a great first pickup. And you've said this in so many times in the past that the Refresher's Ag Zeus is a bit of a gimmick. It's far more beneficial for him to get something like a Yules or even a Scythe of Ice, because it's going to make him just to do a lot more in the actual game. This is a crazy dive coming out now of the PA. She does have she has the DD, but the only problem she didn't know what was there.
Yeah, PA seems to be pretty reckless. Nice pick up there by the Zeus ult. You can't dive a Tiny alone under a tower. I mean, Tiny is, an absolute wombo combo hero in terms of damage. So if you're blinking into him, you better hope you have BKB or backup, because his avalanche into toss, and we're going to see it again. I mean, it's just so much damage.
We're going to see the Ursus coming straight back in. Oh, and he hits the creep.
My arrow lies broken.
You might actually survive this. This avalanche is up in 2 seconds, 1 second.
Oh,
before it goes in.
we're going to see the Ursus probably going to get more blood here on his claws. Here we go.
Dominating.
And this is the problem is when you have an Ursus, you need to stay away from him. You're not going to win if he gets up to your face.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was a reckless dive by Ursa. You go into 3 heroes, but at this point he's so fed. I mean, he's 18, he's just about to hit 19.
And he's going to get another rush.
Just checking the other levels, I mean, Meepo at level 15 is the closest hero to him. So yeah, I mean, at this stage, nothing really is reckless to Ursa. He can pick up as many kills as he wants now.
Like, he's going 15, 2 and 2. The
Gonna
next
see
nicest
Silencer
stat is
probably.
6.
Oh no, it's gonna mess up.
6 kills on the Zeus.
Dire's middle tower is under siege. Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Of the first
I can't really see how this game is going to turn into favour of fun. This is a good pickup for the Meepo. And this is kind of nice as he's getting in their face, he's doing the damage, but we see the PA's coming in. She's, again, these mad dives, she's just going to lose her life again, just for silly reasons. She didn't even get anything out of that. And that's 3 heroes going the way of the actual, the Meepo, which is going to help him in a huge way. He's going to be able to get better items up, and he's going to be able to become a lot more relevant. Let's see if I can actually click on the right one to see what items he has.
And Ursa's gone to Windrunner. Tiny is quite slow to cop that happening. Good Windrunner. Props,
And they get away with it.
Props going to the Windrunner and the Meepo actually throughout this game. They've really comboed really well from Shackle into Earthbind into Poof. It's picked up a lot of kills for them.
Oh, they do pick up the Lena here.
Snuffed out.
Great toss. Ursa
Still
really
needs to
down
rank,
a
yeah.
combo.
Oh, and there's
too
a
much
gem.
here.
This gem, if it stays in the game, if it stays on the Dire team, it's going to just completely cripple this Ursa, because the fact is the Meepo can lock him down and just get near enough that his Poof is doing the damage.
Yeah, gem's an interesting pickup. I mean,
bottom tower is being attacked.
it's obviously great because you have
structures
constant
have been
vision,
fortified.
and this seems to be a game where Ursa is just constantly popping up in the middle of a team, in the middle of a kind of 1 or 2 heroes. But at the same time, you're dying quite a lot. I haven't checked now, but Windrunner's died 4 times, and you're up against an Ursa who is pretty much going to kill you in 3 or 4 hits. Now she does have Windrun, which can get her out, but I mean, the way I always kind of look at it is, a gem is really only worth it if you can,
Oh,
sorry, we're going
catch
to
the
see
skeleton
engagement
here.
here.
And these
Nice
nets
Earthbind.
coming out are just fantastic. Please go down, but he's going to come straight back
Middle
up.
tower is under attack.
Can they Poof him? Can they take him down again?
They
Oh,
really don't want to
unfortunately.
stay in here.
They need to get that Meepo. Meepo is going to lose his life. Oh, he just manages to get out. This is great micro coming
He's
out.
a out, but he's not going to survive this.
Radiant's top
Oh,
tower
Gonna get the
is
cost.
under
he is so out of here. This is huge play coming out of the Meepo. It's just
Incredible.
really bad. They're turn. They're actually taking. Oh, the skeleton king just managed to get it, but the Windrunner should have got in
Well,
there.
yeah,
She
this
was
is-
away. They were all away. Going in is just it's the greed of Dota. I want to go in. I want to get a kill. Didn't need to be
You're
there.
glad to see me again.
Yeah, and that's the gem carrying hero as well, I believe.
And that's the gem now gone onto the Death Prophet.
Yeah.
Radiant's top tower is
If they were
being
smart, they would
attacked.
just bring that and drop it into the base. They don't need it.
No, they don't need. But sorry, the point I was going to make is if you don't stay alive long enough to
Radiant's
justify
top
bringing a
tower
gem,
is under
just by
siege.
sentry wards and just plonk them down. Plonk them down
Radiant's top
wherever
tower has
you're
been
staying in.
destroyed.
If you're moving towards the tower, plonk them down just before the tower, because they're not that expensive, and you're not going to lose them.
Meepo might lose his
Meepo is
life
over
here.
here.
Not just too late to save.
Prevail.
Tiny needs to back in.
See Luna's coming up to try and deal with this Silencer. Silencer has been out of the game for a long time. He's been sitting happily just getting a bit of farm up. And it's possible that it might turn out to be of benefit, because if that Silencer starts stealing int, he becomes very hard hitting
Oh, silence!
But-
What are you doing there, buddy?
out of position. And this has been the story of this game time and time again for the Silencer. Out of position, so many times, and it's costing him his life left, right and centre.
Yeah, and that global silence actually is just reminding me that we do have a global silence in this game. I mean, can you remember once? Can you remember a specific time he used that? I mean, and
that might have been the first.
yeah, well, maybe he's actually used it. Who knows? But I mean, that's not a spell that you tend to forget about. Global Silence is such a huge spell in a game. And I suppose what we were saying before rings true, where they're fighting up against heroes who don't really care about
Here we
Global
go,
Silence.
they're coming in, they're doing the initiation, and Windrunner does manage to get away, but we do see the Light Strike Ray comes out on the Tiny, but Tiny could possibly turn around here, but the PA just come in, we see the stun coming out, and the coup de grace is doing so much damage, and this is the beauty of Ursa, he's getting in their faces, their stun's coming out, they have one reliable stun and a follow-up stun, and that's enough time for, even if this Tiny gets so much health up, that Ursa is just going to eat him for breakfast.
Yeah, I mean, and Nurse has picked up his BKB now, and it's gotten to the stage where there's nothing that the Radiant can do to stop this Ursa. The only time they can actually get a kill is if he is massively out of position, and then the Dire have all 5 heroes around. But yeah,
and even then, it's kind of hard for them to stop them.
Yeah, this should be a relatively simple clean up now. Ursa has just balled too hard for really anything to be done.
And he's still coming in, he wants blood. It's a good shackle shot, it just keeps him alive. The fact is, like this Ursa, we're minutes into the game, he has his Vlads, he has his BKB, Shadowblade, and Phase. Like, what are they going to do?
Another great airbinder,
Dire's middle barracks has been destroyed.
And he's going to lose his life. This is the problem. BKB coming out now, so the poop is going to do nothing. Stops, turns, hits the Windrunner. Even his auto attack is just so powerful. We see refreshers coming out from a Skeleton King. Strange pickup.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, this is...
Oh, the Ursa does go down, but the only problem is he's coming straight back up, and so is the Skeleton King. Not the heroes you want to be focusing. Oh, that's a huge boom.
Great pickup by the Meepo there.
I think Skeleton King might be regretting his decision getting up that Refresher's Orb, considering he just used it and it's already gone.
I have no words.
I think I have seen it before, but I think it was only just a joke build, where basically you can get an Aghanims and you have your Refresher's Orb and you have something, if you stay alive long enough, you can have up to 4 or 5 rebirths, but mad play. He could have got any other item and it would have been more beneficial. And we see the Meepo's coming in with the Earthbind again. He's going to absolutely just explode this Death Prophet. Is he going to take the gem back? He needs to take that and just go home.
He's going to leave it. I
Radiant's bottom
don't
tower is
understand.
under siege.
Maybe didn't see it.
We can see now the kind of the weakness of the all carry team is, like, you see the Tiny is starting to come online, the Meepo is starting to come online. It's kind of their farm is so split. It's kind of all on the Ursa, and again I'm going to say it again. The Skeleton King with a Refresher's Orb, he's not really doing that much. Fair enough, he has a stun and he can just stay in and be a pain. But PA just is sitting on a poor man's shield, Phase, and a point booster. Like, she's not doing anything, and she's constantly getting caught out of position. She's going to lose her life yet again down here to the bot.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the story of the Meepo, the Ursa really. And I mean, the Skeleton King, he's a nice throw.
Oh, unfortunately, she turns and she power shots the wrong way. Meepo is coming in here, but they need to be careful. As the fact is the Exorcism is out here at the moment. Meepo turns in, is he going to be able to get off his Blink Strike? He is. Poof comes out, just so much damage, but he's going to lose his life to it. Cannot fight in this Exorcism.
Murder spree.
And Zeus came back just in time to secure that kill.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to rag on the Skeleton King too much. I mean, Refresher's Orb is a really, really weird pickup, but Ursa would have never balled hadn't it not been for the Skeleton King and his Hellfire Blasts.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, so yeah, but it has been the story of the Ursa. I mean, the Ursa now is absolutely out of control. I mean, Death Prophet's been there as well. You know, she's the second highest net worth. I mean, she has her Bloodstone. Her Exorcism has been pretty important in team fights. But yeah, it's been the story of the Ursa. The Ursa's absolutely balled out of control, and you know, he's killing the Dire at will.
Like, we take a look at just at the last hits, and the last hits are pretty high on the Meepo. They're 136, but I get the feeling that the net worth is kind of bugged for Meepo, because it's only showing for myself at 740, but I think it might be just because the fact is that he's a split hero that it's causing an issue there. But
yeah, I mean, his net worth is obviously... I've never actually casted a Meepo game before, so it's on the same happening, so we're going to see Silencer get engagement in mid. But I mean, you know, he actually might be okay with it. He has a Refresher's Orb and he's going to stun out. No, he gets blocked by creeps.
And Zeus is coming in. Zeus is angry.
Zeus is crazy. This is the haste, so it should be okay. That Earthbind's not going to, or Earthshock's not going to do anything to a haste this.
Bury me with
Silence is going to go
my
now.
glaives.
But yeah, Meepo is obviously far higher than that. He has the Hyperstone, he has his Boots of Travel, he has his Agnum, so he'd be rivaling, I'd say, he'd be rivaling Death Prophet in terms of net worth.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think anyone's as close to this Ursa at the moment. I wonder what he's actually going to build just with this Ultimate Orb, where he's considering, I don't know, an Ice-Scatty, but I doubt it, it's not going to stack. Unless he's considering something like a Manta style even.
He's picked up the Voids, he's picked up the
Perseverance. So
probably Lincoln's. Yeah, I'd imagine Lincoln's. A bit of a waste, he has his BKB already, I'm not sure why he wants the Lincoln's.
And there's only... Oh, here, this is just walking in to get killed. He didn't need to be there at all. Like, with the tower gone, with the racks gone, what was he there exactly to defend?
Radiant's top tower is under
Kind of just taking a look at the
Dire's
gold now
middle
as it's got the
barracks
moment. It has really been up and down the whole game, and it's kind of starting to even out now. It still is in the favour of the rating, but it's only 1,000 now. EXP though is a whole other story. It's pushing up to 7,000.
Yeah, I think maybe the Meepo might have brought it that back a bit,
Radiant's
but I mean,
top tower
this
is
game has
being
been over
attacked.
for about 10 minutes now.
Dire's middle tower is under
the Ursa is
attack.
just
Dire's
absolutely
middle
out of
tower
control.
has been destroyed.
We see a casual Maelstrom coming out from the
Radiant's
Lina
top
here.
tower
Again,
is
some
under
strange
siege.
item choices, but I can kind of see where she's coming from, but she's not a right-click hero. She doesn't really need to be stacking up all that attack damage, or attack speed.
Radiant's top barrack-
Well, I mean, in
Radiant's
fairness
top
to her,
barracks has been
with Fiery
destroyed.
Soul, she
Radiant's top
becomes like a
barracks
decent
is
right click.
destroyed.
You know, she's going to get those attacks out quite fast. But yeah, I mean, it's an odd pickup. She's gone for a
Dire's middle tower
supporty
is being
build with the
attacked.
mechanism and the arcane boots. So really something to kind of to boost the kind of support,
Radiant's
maybe like a
middle
Yule
tower is
Scepter
under
or
attack.
a Side of Vice if she was really getting the
Dire's
farm.
middle tower
And
has
we see a
fallen.
second Bloodstone coming out for the
Dire's
Death Prophet.
is under attack.
She's died like 11 times, so even like a Ghost Scepter might be nice.
Radiant's middle
gonna
tower
die again.
has been destroyed.
Triple homicide.
Dire's ancient is being attacked.
I'm a sight for sore
I'm
eyes.
trying to
These
understand
guys
this Bloodstone.
Let's not tell. Dire's
Don't think
ancient
it
is under
stacks, does it?
A
I can't
double
imagine
Bloodstone.
it. Can't imagine it
Radiant's
stacking.
ancient is Dire did not
Double
lose as
Bloodstone.
badly as Radiant.
What?
And is
What?
technically the winner.
I cannot believe we missed that.
Oh my god. I cannot believe we missed that. Shit.
Well, shows you what happens when you forget about a Meepo. So,
Absolutely insane.
yeah, it was a crazy game that we watched. I actually really enjoyed that. We got to see something a little bit crazy. Some strange item choices coming out the way of the Radiant, like the double Bloodstone and the refreshers on the Skeleton King. But it goes to show you got to watch your back door. And I learned that the hard way today when we actually had a game ourselves and we got killed by a Wisp, a Keeper of the Light, and a Shadow Shaman who backdoored us. But interesting game there is just we saw how easily an Ursa can get out of control. But doesn't matter how many kills you have on the board, it matters who Ancients goes down first.
Yeah, I'm delighted for the Meepo really because he played really well in this game. His Earthbinds into poofs were excellent, and he was catching out a lot of heroes. But I can't believe we missed that back door. I was so sure that the Dire were going to take it.
I was too focused
sorry,
on
the
what was
Radiant
going on.
was
But that's been
Bloodstones.
yeah, definitely the two Bloodstones came out completely through me. But definitely going to have to give man of the match to the Meepo there. He played phenomenally well in that game. As you said, those blink or the poofs coming in and the Earthbinds were just fantastic. But that has been another game casted by myself, Gus and Mark, and this has been That's Dota. But we would love to get your feedback and see what you thought, if you think we could improve on anything. But thanks so much for listening in.
Be nice.